And today we're with Sue Dowdy, who is the Executive Director of the Ashland Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, among many other titles you've held in your life. But how long have you done this, Sue?
I have been the director here since 2002, so I guess 12 years.
You can remember that far back?
How about that?
Great. Sue, tell me just a little bit about what the basic function is of what you do here.
Well, the very basic function would be to promote Ashland, get people interested in what we have to offer, get them here, have them spend the night, and spend some money in our restaurants, in our exhibits, our venues, whatever you would want to call that, buy gasoline, and have a good time while they're also helping our economy.
So you have a lot of things that go on here year-round. You're involved in almost anything tourism that comes to town. Let's talk a little bit about what's next.
Well, coming up next, and I thought about this when you asked me to have a little chat with you today, and of course we're getting really close to Labor Day. And Labor Day in Catlettsburg particularly, that's their biggest weekend. And they have their big annual festival. You know, their parade on Labor Day morning is one of the biggest ones around, and actually serves as a political forum. It's become sort of like not in the same
Fancy
that's what I was going to say. So you will see every politician in that parade that can possibly get there, whether it's a local or a state or even a federal race. But those activities, Gail Salmons was in here this morning and trying to update us on what all is happening. But on next Thursday evening, on August the 28th, will be the mayor's reception. They always have that. They're really proud of that, and that will be at the depot that they've restored. And that'll be from, I believe she said, 5 to 8. And then they'll have other activities during the weekend. But on Saturday, particularly all day long, is the Recovery Fest that Rob Oldham organizes, and that goes on like from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, so that's a big one. And then on Sunday they have a really nice community church service. But they have carnival rides, and they have a lot of vendors as well as food vendors, crafters, and what all. It's just a lot of fun in a hometown county seat of Boyd County, and do it in a great way. And then on Monday after the parade, there's a lot of local entertainment. They're on the front of the courthouse, and then that evening they have a huge country night planned with T.G. Shepherd, Gene Watson, and Mo Bandy. And then Julie Reeves, you know, our local Russell, Kentucky native, will be performing on that same stage before they all get started. So it's a big weekend in Catlettsburg, and we're all proud of it. And I brought this little sticker in for our little talk today, because this is the Achy sticker that everyone's talking about, and a lot of the cars around, and when you go to like Myrtle Beach or a vacation spot, you get a decal and put on your car, you know, where you've been. So this was designed by Vincenzo Frizzola, a local architect, and Area Advertising has been printing it up for us at a very reasonable cost. So we've already run out of our first 1,000, and we're getting our second shipment in. But for the Catlettsburg weekend, we're having CKY printed up for them, because Boyd County actually has 2 cities, in case anyone has forgotten. We don't have as many as Greenup County, but we have 2. So we're going to do that in orange with a CKY, and then Catlettsburg, Kentucky. So we're going to try to add a little bit of excitement with the stickers, because we've had people just coming in and out constantly asking for the Achy sticker. So that's a fun thing. And then on Labor Day afternoon, I started this festival many years ago with Bruce Kraft of the Ashland Recreation Department, who has passed on now, but still work with the city, and they're the major sponsor in the Recreation Department. And we sponsor Labor Fest, because every holiday that we can, we want to have a little fun, family-free entertainment that people can come to. So we started this little activity to honor the working people and it's called Labor Fest, and it will be held on Monday at Central Park at the bandstand at 2 o'clock, and it will run for 3 hours. And I'll tell you exactly what all we do with that. We have free ice cream. It was my dream to have an ice cream social. So we have free ice cream, and believe it or not, we have everyone from children to people in their 90s. And there's something about ice cream in Central Park free that just, you would think you were having something really more special than what it really is, but it just tastes better, Hank. It just tastes better.
It kind of makes me think back at the turn of the century from the 1800s to the 1900s, where people would gather, and that was a big social event.
Oh, it is a big social event. And
even though you and I do not remember that. No.
I don't remember that, but I remember hearing about it and reading about it and seeing pictures. But people bring their lawn chairs, and we've tried to add a few little things. We have cornhole, and we have face painting for the children, and we have the balloon art for the kids, and all of this is free. Every bit is free. But in the past couple of years, we added cotton candy, because who doesn't love just to get a little sticky, a little sweet out in the last summer days of the year, and so that's gone over really well too. But we have door prizes. We have a disc jockey that comes in, and we honor the working people, and then we get into our little music fest. And this year, we're happy to use some of our local young people who participated in the Boyd County Fair Talent Show, which is now sponsored by Coca-Cola. It's called the Coca-Cola Talent Show. And one group in particular that I'll talk about placed second in their division, so they're competing this coming weekend on Saturday for a state title in the talent show. And that's called a little group, the Strings of Whites Creek, and they're all young. They're 18 and under. And two of the kids that are involved in that, their father runs the Appalachian School of Music out in Boyd County, and he also teaches at Morehead State in the Appalachian Music program. So that's pretty exciting. And then I met a young man also at the fair, and he was in the talent show, Danny McGraw. So he's going to be singing, and he's got this big old booming bass voice like Tennessee Ernie Ford, and he actually sang a Tennessee Ernie Ford song, so he'll be performing. And then Jesse Klein, who was on the American Idol last year, and I think he has hopes of being on again this year. Jesse's going to perform, and he also is at the Boyd County Fair. So, and then we'll have Eddie Rive, who's a local musician who entertains us. But, you know, people look forward to that, and we know it's not like having George Strait, but, you know, it's a good way to let our own people showcase their talent and all gather, and the families come and have a good time. So we've got that going. So we're really happy about that. And I looked through, and I don't know much about the Holy Family Festival, but that happens then that very next weekend after Labor Day at the Holy Family Church, and they have that big like yard sale, and they have inflatables and all kinds of good food and entertainment. So if we get to chat again before that festival happens, I'll try to find out more about that. But then the big one, and that's Pogue Landing Festival, which is now 20 some years, you know, and it's always the third weekend in September. The streets of Ashland are blocked off. Everyone feels the spirit because it's fall weather, sometimes a little bit warmer than others, but we're hoping for a little bit of cool and warm during the day and a little bit cool at night, and people love that festival, and I've seen it grow, and I'm proud to say that I've helped it grow. I chaired that festival for about 9 years, but you know, you don't get messy. If it rains, you're still on pavement, so you know it's not muddy. You might run into a little water, but it's easy to navigate, and that's what we see because we have so many children that want to come. Their families bring them in strollers. You know, we have a lot of handicapped accessibility. A lot of people just don't feel like walking out when it's really hot. You know, we have seniors that enjoy. So it's grown into a wonderful family fall festival, and the tent for the crafts is already sold out. It sells out each year before the next year even is thought about. And it's huge. It runs almost the whole block of 16th Street in Winchester. We have the Cone Fest, which is the skateboarders, and I mean that's really grown. But one of the things that really started out with Pogue Landing was it was to be a heritage festival and celebrate our Eastern Kentucky Appalachian heritage. So the Fiddle Fest, and that's still going, and they're going to honor the lady who's worked with that for so many years from the college, Gail Fritz, and she's put a lot of time and effort into that Fiddle Fest. And so that always happens. They have a wonderful car show, motorcycle show. I'm probably leaving something out, but again, lots of local entertainment, bluegrass on Sunday, community church service on Sunday, the Pogue family reunion. I don't want to leave that out because we have and we hold that right here in this office in the Convention Visitors Bureau. We have the Pogues who come in, they go over to the log cabin, they research their ancestry, and they come from all over. One fellow in Chicago particularly helps to organize that. But the big entertainment on Saturday night is Rodney Atkins, and everyone's getting geared up for it. So I could go on and on about Pogue Landing. It's huge. But I wanted to launch on into something that got saved, and I'll just say it just like that. Chili Fest, which had been successful and had a national, I don't understand all about Chili Fest, but I'm getting into it. But you know, you have to be nationally recognized to compete and get certain awards, and Cheryl Spriggs, who is our one of our city commissioners, had chaired that for a number of years, and she couldn't chair it anymore, and some of the committee that had pulled it together were basically just tired, so it was in danger of not happening this year. So a bunch of us rallied together, and I'm happy to say that the American Cancer Society has taken that over under a lot of the leadership of Lori Bush, who I know is a good friend of yours and ours, Bronson Bush's mother. I think she's probably more known for being Bronson's mom than she is, but she's very active.
She is for being our friend, right?
Right. But she's very active, and of course she works for Dr. Jeffrey Lopez of the oncologists here in Ashland. But she and a group of her friends and the American Cancer Society here in Boyd County are going to take that over. So that will happen on the last Saturday of September in its usual spot on the parking lot adjacent to the Paramount, and that's always a lot of fun. You can buy your little cups of chili and go around and sample and vote and do all of that good things. So that's going to be, we're just happy that we say, I don't ever want to say goodbye to a festival, because I think that's not in the best interest of everyone, and not only for the socioeconomic impact, but just for the sake of fun, giving someone else something else to do. I never believe it when people say there's nothing to do. I'm like, there is always something to do, and if you can't find it, you're not looking.
Sue, we'll talk again before Pogue Landing Days.
That sounds wonderful. I enjoy it very much. Thank you, Hank.
Thank you very much.